What's up, guys? It's Shadow from Shadow TCG, and today I'm going to be bringing you my top 10 decks to see at the Orlando Regionals. Now, in October, Florida is going to have the first regionals, and I and a couple of friends will be participating in it. My friends will be from the Pokemon Evolutionaries and some other people from my shop, from my locals. And I've been doing a lot of research on decks, trying to figure out what I should be playing myself, and I've just been going through every single card from Primal Clash and up to give a better explanation for everything I've discussed in this video. So for that, let's get started. Now at number 10, I believe Mega Gardevoir. Mega Gardevoir, specifically the one from Steam Siege, it's very fast. It has two hits any Pokemon, regardless. It uh, it breaks even with most other Pokemon too. Um, it has a favorable matchup against Giratina and Mega Mewtwo. Um, Also has free retreat costs with Fairy Garden. But you can also play Xerneas in this deck to charge up your Gardevoir as fast as possible. Now, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't play the deck. I'm just going on speculation here. But I feel like Gardevoir is a very good contender for the regionals this year. It's pretty solid, low retreat cost, free retreat with the Fairy Garden, and pretty good HP for a Mega. I mean, 210 is mediocre, honestly, but with all that, with 110 base, and you discard your Shamans and your Hoopas just to attack again, it's pretty good. Plus, we have Karen legal for this regionals, so I feel like this deck has a lot of potential. Now, the problem is with this deck, it's Garbodor prevents Shamans and Hoopas from being constantly reused on the bench. Parallel City also hurts because you can't place more than 3 Pokemon unless you have another Stadium to counteract that, or Paint Roller or something like that. And the problem is it needs to two shots people. It can't. One thing it can one shot is Shamans and Manaphy's. Unless you clear your whole bench, then you're not going to clear any real big EXs, and that's probably not going to happen. So, 2 shots is the biggest problem with this deck. Now, number 2, we're going into Jolteon Glaceon. Now, this deck doesn't have many pros, but it's an anti-meta deck. You just go in. You just nullify all damage to you with Crystal Ray if you're going against a Mega, or Flash Ray if you're going against a Basic. Now, it's pretty energy efficient in my opinion. You can max Elixir and double colorless. You can attack first turn with energy switch and whatnot. Jolteon has free retreat, so if you start off with a Jolteon, I mean, it's a pretty good. You can also pair this deck up with Manaphy because you can just put Manaphy on the bench to give Glaceon free retreat. So regardless, you're not free retreat pretty much anyway because you're gonna be running water energies, and lightning energies, and so on and so forth. Now you can also pair this deck up with Smeargle. Smeargle lets you take a energy from your discard and switch it with one of your Pokemon's active energies. So if let's say you have a Jolteon all set up, but you need a Glaceon, you Ninja Boy out the Glaceon and you just Smeargle the electric energy for a water energy. It's pretty simple. Now the cons about this deck, immunity is like the thing to get around immunity, like Lysander, Ranger, that kind of hurts the deck a little bit. Or having the right backup, like in decks like let's say Fright Night Yveltal, they can run Zoroark, and Zoroark can just switch in, and then your Jolteon's not gonna have a fun time because it's gonna get one shot. Because usually you have your bench set up. Another thing, hammers. Hammers really hurt this deck. Enhance hammer, knock off your double colorless, or just hammer in general. Your crushing hammer, knock off an energy if they get heads. It hurts. It really does. And another thing about this deck, it has like you're not gonna one shot anything. Night March is not a thing no more, so you're not one shotting anything in the current meta. Well, yeah, you're not gonna one shot anything. Now, number 8. Number 8 is going to be Mega Mewtwo Y. Now, Mega Mewtwo Y damage scales very well into the late game, and it's energy efficient. All you need is 2 double colorless from Mega Mewtwo Y to start going in. Now, it does 10 plus 20 for each energy attack to each player's basic Pokemon. So, if you have a double colorless and they have a double colorless, that's 20, 40, 60, 80 damage, 90 with the 10 base. That's pretty good. Plus, you pair the thing up with Shrine of Memories, and you can damage change off your damage on and heal for full health, and then go for another knockout. It's This card is very good. Um, the problem is Enhanced Hammer and hammers and Crushing Hammer in general really hurt this deck. Um, Giratina, Mega Mewtwo doesn't have a favorable matchup against Giratina. Unless you have a Hex Maniac or Garbodor, which I've seen some of the decks play Garbodor. So there is that, but that's if they play Garbodor. Some of them just run your Mega Mewtwo for the speed. Yeah, pretty much just Hex Maniac and Hammers and Giratina really hurt this deck. Now, number 6, I believe it is. Yes, number 6. We're going into Mega Scizor. Now, this deck was specifically made to counter the meta last year. Double colorless, Mega Audino, before it was a thing. The deck really specifically goes for decks that play special energies and stadiums. Now, you can pair this deck up with a Magearna, which gives an immunity to special effects, no paralysis, no sleep, no poison, stuff like that. But in push to pair this deck up with hammers, and you can knock off any energies attached to your opponent's Pokemon. That hurts them so much. And then all it takes for you is two steel energies to do 120 base, knock off special energy or stadium on the field. That's fantastic. 220 base AP. It's standard, so it's not super great, but it's not terrible. It's good. Now the problem is it loses shine if you go into Volcanion. Volcanion is a deck I'm specifically saying in this video, in this part, because fire really, and I mean really, hurts this deck. You will be taking so much damage from just the baby Volcanion in general if you're playing against Volcanion with this deck. Also, it gives them time to build up, so the Volcanion EX can just keep hitting you. Like, they can just set up all day, and then you're just sitting there having problems. Now, like I said, 120 base is nothing to laugh at. It really isn't. You can almost one-shot every basic, except for, like, I believe both Eviltal Fright Knight and the basic Oblivion Wing one. They both have 130, I believe, if I'm right. And the Volcanion's 130. Now, but that's only special circumstances. The deck is good. It's very fast, but it doesn't hit really hard. But the deck has great potential. Plus, Mega Gardevoir, I don't know. I don't know about that matchup. The Mega Gardevoir matchup is iffy. I don't remember if Steam Siege 1 is weak to Steel or not. I believe it's weak to Psychic. But regardless, the deck is good. It's fast, and it's just made to disrupt the meta. Now, number 5, we're gonna bring up Mega Sceptile. Now, Mega Sceptile, 2 grass energies, 100 base, heal all damage on the bench when you attach a grass energy from your hand to one of the Pokemon. Fantastic. You have recovery, you have sustain, and it doesn't take that long to set up. You can first turn evolve with Force of Giant Plants, so you can do like a Mega Ray kind of thing, where you play the Sceptile, Force of Giant Plants, Spirit Link, evolve, energy for turn, whatever. It's fantastic. Pair this up with Ariados, you 2-shot anything in the game. It's a very, very fast deck, very good. Plus, you can also play Weavile, so the whole Volcanion thing could be nullified, but that's if you go that route. If you run 2 stage 2s in a deck, it's a meh kind of thing. But I've been wanting to test the Weavile, but I'm just going for Ariados for this one, because 2-shotting is amazing. Shrine of Memories, if you, not Sleep Poison, if you, Ariados, Shrine of Memories is the Unseen Call from Sceptile EX. It's 60 plus 70 for, the special effect. So that's 130, going to be 140 with the poison. But it'll probably be, it's actually 150 because it's going to be a turn after. So it's really good. It stacks up. Now the problem with this is Garbodor blocks a ability from Ariados. Fire is very popular. Volcanion's going to be very hyped. And hammers kind of hurt you a little bit because you need the energy. You don't want to keep attaching energy, but there's Subtile. It's a fun deck. It's very fast. I feel like it's better than Scizor because of the if you don't one shot this card, you're gonna have a bad time. You need a one shot to make a Subtile to really shut it down. But that's why Volcanion, well, weakness. That's a thing. Number 4, we're going into I believe it was, oh yeah, Volcanion. Like I was just talking about. Now, the deck sets up very easily. 1 fire energy for power heater. Choose 2 of your bench Pokemon, attach a fire energy from your discard pile and attach it to those Pokemon. It's good. It's very good. I mean, 20 is mediocre, but pile up, steam up, which gives you 30 more damage for your basic fire Pokemon attacks. Guess what? That 20 is now a 50. Now, if you have 2, guess what? That's going to be 80. Yeah, so you see how this works? They can pretty much do 80 first turn if they have 2 Volcanions on the bench and the baby attacking. That's a lot of damage for a first turn attack. Now, its max damage is 140 for the baby, which is a lot. It really is a lot, but you also need the 4 of the EXs on the bench. But obviously, if they attack with the EX, it's gonna be you one shot. You will one shot everything. The deck does not. That's the best thing about this card. It doesn't need Hoopa. The deck does not need Hoopa to set up. You can either Ultra Ball or Dive Ball. You can play Dive Ball just to get the Volcanion EX because it is a water type because the whole dual type thing. That really makes this deck shine. That you don't need Hoopa. You don't even really need Shaman. I mean, Shaman's a great card in general, but you don't really need Shaman or Hoopa. It's amazing. It's a very good deck, decent damage, and doesn't need Hoopa. Now, Hoopa just takes up bench space, and no one wants that. I hate Hoopa. I'm cutting Hoopa from my deck. I just hate Hoopa. Now, the bad part about this deck is it has problems dealing with Garbodors and Megas, because you're not going to one-shot Megas unless you have 4 Volcanion EX on the field, and you're steaming up every turn. It's just not going to happen. Card Bank is another problem for this deck, because the basics, the only thing you'd attack with, you're not going to be attacking with a Volcanion EX, unless you have a Silent Lab or Hexmaniac, but then that also hurts you, so you don't really want to do that. Now, Jolteon's another card that really gives his deck problems, because you need to run Pokemon Ranger to stop that, and that's also meh. The Jolteon really hurts this deck. Silent Lab hurts this deck. Hexmaniac hurts this deck. Which sometimes any like one hit KO is potential. What else? Heavy retreat costs. If you don't have float stones, you're gonna have problems because Volcanion 3 colorless energy for a retreat. That's a pretty hefty retreat. But besides that, the deck runs pretty smooth. It's pretty good. I like it. Like I said, you don't need Hoopa, which is like literally amazing. So now number 3, I think. Yeah, number 3. Number 3, we're actually going to be going into Mega Rayquaza Colorless. Now, pros. It's literally the fastest deck in the game. It's fast. It's super fast. You evolve first turn, and you can one-shot everything. As long as you have Skyfield. Hoopa and Shaman gives you damage, because you bench those. It's 30, 60, 90. That's for 3. That's only 30, 60, 90. That's awesome. That's great. And it just keeps going up with every Pokemon you bench. That's why you play Skyfield. Because then you can just Hoopa out, Shamans, whatever, draw, do your thing. Ultra Ball for more Hoopa. You know, Shamans and Hoopas make this deck's damage go way up. Now, it's also energy efficient, so you can pair this deck up with Manaphy for water, and you can just retreat for free. Or you play Magearna for the Steel variant, and just not get any special effects onto you, like paralysis, sleep, poison, whatever. It's very good, very good damage. One shots everything. Um, Problems with this deck: Parallel City, Delinquent, and Paint Roller. Removing Skyfield drastically reduces your damage. It makes it very hard. Now, if you're going against if you're going against Mega, if you're going against Giratina or Glaceon or Regice, good luck to you, my good sir, because Giratina will knock off your damage unless you play Hex Maniac or Silent Lab. Which, if you're playing Silent Lab and Mega Ray, I'm sorry, but I don't have no idea what you're doing. You're playing the deck wrong. Sorry. Also, there's no real weakness for this deck, like tech wise, because Night March is gone, so there is no weakness to you, and nothing's gonna watch unless someone's playing Mega Ampharos or Raichu Bats for some reason. 220 base for Mega Standard. The deck is very fast. It's very good. One of the best decks out there, in my opinion. And yeah, so now we're gonna go with number two. Number two, we're gonna go with Dark Tina. Now, Max Elixir Energy Switch allows you to attack first turn. You can pair this deck up with Fright Night Evoltol. So there goes Pokemon tools if it's your active. Also, 60 to the bench for an EX, pretty good. 2 shots to Shaman. Consistent damage. Now, Double Dragon counts as 2 Darks for Darkrai. That's 40 extra damage already. Plus the 2 Darks you're already having your Dark Pulse, unless you're in double colorless. But 80, it's 100 damage for the 2 Double Dragons and the 2 Darks. Plus a Fighting Fury Belt and a, what's it called? Reaver's Valley. That's 120 damage. Amazing. That is fantastic damage for a first turn attack, which is very, very doable. Very doable. You also have Evolta EX for another backup attacker for this deck. It's good against decks like what's it called? Zygarde. Because then you can just go at the Zygarde that has the special and the special fighting energy, the strong energy, and the fighting energy is stacking it up with the Carbink, and then you're just gonna go there and do like 140 damage with the Evolta EX. Dark, honestly, is probably one of the best decks in the format. Has some of the best support, and is the most versatile in my opinion. Has no real bad matchups outside. Yeah, outside Carbink, Garbodor is probably like the worst matchup you have. Well, I mean, Zygarde, Carbink, Garbodor is probably the worst matchup you have. Jolteon's another card that hurts you, but that's about it. That's honestly all that's really bad for you. Enhanced Hammer hurts the deck. We're taking off the double colorless on your Giratina or your Double Dragon. That really hurts. It really does. Hammers in general hurt any deck, but everyone knows that. Hex Maniac takes off Giratina's Renegade Pulse. So Megas will do damage to you if they run the Hex Maniac or Silent Lab. Pokemon Ranger takes off Chaos Wheel. So there goes your lock. If they knock out your Giratina, if you have 2 Double Dragons in your Giratina, that's 80 damage gone from your Darkrai. That's pretty bad. That's a lot of damage. But regardless of all that, the deck I feel like is one of the top 2 contenders, one of the fastest, and one of the strongest for the current regionals coming up. Again, my opinion. You see, internet, people have their own opinions. I get it. Probably gonna get a lot of beef for this video, but you know what? Sorry. I made my opinion. Number 1, the number 1 deck of this format, I feel like at the regionals is going to be Xerneas Break Giratina. Free Retreat with Fairy Garden. It's pretty much Darkrai, but it's Fairy. Now the only thing that resists Fairy is nothing. There's no resistance to Fairy right now in the current metagame. Lifestream, 20 damage times the amount of energy on the field. Now, That doesn't mean fairy. It means anything. Double colorless, double dragon, fairy, water, dark, steel, whatever. It's going to be hitting for a lot of damage, and it's a non-EX attacker. It is going to be a stage 1 because it's a break, but it's a non-EX attacker that can set up with Geomancy. That's pretty good. It can also attack first turn with Lifestream, with Energy Switch, if you chose to go through that route with the max elixirs and stuff. Can lock you out with Giratina. Giratina's Chaos Wheel can lock you out of a lot of your special energies and your Poke Tools and your stadiums. So it has the locking ability if you choose to go that way. Like I said, it depends on the matchup. This is pretty much honestly a variant of the Dark Tina build, but with Fairy. But just switching it from Darkrai to Xerneas really makes this deck very powerful damage-wise. Plus the free retreat with Fairy Garden, like it's fantastic. There's really no way not to say this deck isn't going to be fantastic. This deck is going to be really good. And I feel like it's going to be one of the top played decks at the regionals in Orlando. Now, the cons about this deck, Enhanced Hammer and hammers in general, like I said, hurt any deck. Now, there's no real recovery for this deck besides energy retrieval, fisherman, stuff like that. I mean, the deck has Fairy Drop for healing, which is great. But reducing as many energies on the bench as you can really hurts the deck. Now, Hex Maniac and Renegade, Silent Lab take off Renegade Pulse, so Mega's can attack through it. Pokemon Ranger, once again, nullifies Chaos Wheel. But that's a supporter for a turn, and it hurts them too. If they decide to try to Shaman, they're like, oh, well, there goes that idea. Now, like I said, guys, this is completely my opinion. Nothing I say in this video really determines what's going to be meta for this format. But as of right now, Florida gets to decide the meta for this season, which is great. I'm happy about that. Not happy that we're the guinea pigs. Now, there are some honorable mentions that I'm going to get to, which is Rainbow Road Xerneas and what's it called? Greninja Break. I didn't put these in the video because I don't feel like they have the most consistent damage and build up. But once again, my personal opinion. Another deck would be Vespa Queen. It's meh. It's not that great anymore without Night March. It really isn't. But like I said, my opinion. You can hate me. I understand. I still love you. But it's my opinion, guys. Now, tell me what you think about this, guys, in the comments. Tell me how you feel about what you think will be meta in the current format. But this is what I feel. This is what I believe. So, hate me if you must. Now, I want to thank you guys for coming out and watching my video, and I hope you guys have a great day. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.